Good morning. Looks like I need to shave. Yep, a little bit. Anyway, hey, there's Wendy. Getting the just draining and
trying to wake up.
Yep, still trying to wake up. Another night, good night of sleep though.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still got some aches and pains. Well, I got another good night's sleep myself. The cot is awesome. I think we are just, I don't know, maybe I just have to be on my back, but I had some heartburn last night. I thought it was because my feet were higher than my head, but anyway, just slept on my back and it went away, so I have no idea what that's all about. But we're gonna have some coffee as usual, get some eggs going, and that'll be a quick breakfast. It's not going to be anything extravagant. Anyway, so that's what we got going on. Hang out, stick around, we'll see what we can make happen. All right, breakfast is served. Easy and quick. We are clean.
Yes.
For a moment. We need to get the Jeep started so that we can get the windows down.
Yes.
We're gonna go up to the main office, find out some information. Two things. First, boat rentals availability. Do we have something available now, or do we have to wait? And two, museum hours. There is a museum across the street that has to do with the whole area. So if the boat rentals are not available, we will do the museum. If the museum is closed for the day, then we will be relaxing for the rest of the afternoon, I think, most likely. But we'll still try to get out on a boat. I would kind of like to do both. That would be awesome. So yeah, we'll see what we can find out. Let's get on up to the office.
A Raptor.
Mm-hmm.
Ford.
So this is Indian Springs. There's a whole bunch of little mom and pop shops, antique stores. And I say a whole bunch, that's not really maybe necessarily true. But anyway, so we just checked out one little store with collectibles and potpourri and wax candles and stuff like that. Quaint. Really cool ideas, cute little sayings and so forth. I just parked in a public parking camping spot. And I'm gonna go down and meet with Wendy and just tour the rest of these buildings for another probably 25-30 minutes, and then we'll go to the museum and see what's going on. Yeah, there's a pretty good chance we could do that too.
I mean, are you looking for anything in particular? I got sealed queen, I got sealed doors, I got Guns N' Roses, and
For generations, the Creek tribe came to this area to partake of the mineral-rich water emanating from the ground. European-based settlers in the 1700s also realized the benefits. The first to be erected and the last to stand, this building has a storied history. Constructed in 1821 by William McIntosh, it acted as intended, as an inn for people visiting the springs. It was erected on land given to McIntosh for his role in the first Treaty of Indian Springs in 1821. In 1825, the building was the site of the Second Treaty of Indian Springs. This rock is believed to be where an Upper Creek chief, Opothe watched the treaty be signed. It was from here that he shouted a warning to McIntosh that the act of ceding land without the consent of the entire Creek nation would result in his death. 3 months later, Chief Menawa and 200 followers set fire to McIntosh's plantation in Carroll County, then shot and stabbed both William and an elderly chief from Coweta, Itome Tustungi. The next chapter of the inn was described very well by the interpreters. It involved the brief role the building played during the Civil War and the proprietors of that time. It also included the inn's history as part of a larger resort destination revolving around the springs.
Oh yeah, they're doorstops. But we don't argue with them because we're using 2 of them upstairs for doorstops. And all right, now when we go upstairs, you'll get to see the ghost room. We got our own ghost, and the artifacts room. But before we leave this room, let me show you what's over the building. This thing here is called a mortise, and that's the tendon right here. And they go together. And they're held together with wooden pegs. Wooden pegs hold the mortise and the tendon together. So we picture framed it out right here. so that you can see this was put in 1823, 101 years ago. And it's still holding the building up today. No nails, just wooden pegs. And it's pretty solid in here, you know. And you see that drill next to us? That's the very first cordless drill. Now we're going to go upstairs. Nation. Those are the people that we marched out to Oklahoma during the Trail of Tears. And this is their bulletin board. They can come and do anything they want to, change it, whatnot. They do on a pretty regular basis. These two guys are they're chiefs. And they elect their chiefs like we do a president. Hope they got better sense than we do. But
each room is going to be 2 rooms. You'll see it at the ceiling where they were divided, and these are the most generous rooms of the lot. These are much bigger than the other rooms would have been back in the day. And we'll have to cut on there. I wasn't aware of that. They told us they can tell by the density and the shape of the rocks that some of them grinding stones, some of them hammer stones. But I told him I live on Yellowwater Creek, and if those are worth money, I'm a multi-millionaire. but it gets better as it goes. All these, I mean, the flint blades and arrowheads, and there's a hand axe here. And this hand axe, actually, my grandfather found one that's identical to that. I've got it on my desk at home right now. He gave it to me when I was in 2nd grade. The only thing fake about it, he put a handle on it, and he didn't let me know that was not real. He put it on himself, but I had to have something to shake it with. But they've got arrowheads over here, and some of them are kind of funny shaped. They're flint drills. They use them to poke holes in hides and stuff so you can sew them together. And it gets, like I say, there's trade pipes and such. Now, one thing I would like to invite y'all to, in September, this year would be the 7th and 8th of September, they have the Indian Festival. And it is really worth seeing if you have the time. Their death in 1928.
Yeah, I tell you what. Now, y'all, welcome to Miss Jo's room. She ran this hotel. This was her room. She was the proprietor of the hotel. This is Miss Jo. Her family run this hotel for 103 years. She was personal friends with Jefferson Davis, Alexander Stevens, a guy named Westinghouse when he come to build a dam. And she even marched on Washington for women's suffrage, a right for women to vote. She was what we'd call a hellraiser today. But she was an old maid school teacher, and they say she mortgaged her plantation so they could buy the hotel. And we would get ready to go home. We'd close off the lights, cut all the lights off, go on home. When we come back in the morning, there's a light on in some room. It's always a different room. And people will ask us, what were you doing at the hotel the other night? Well, we wasn't doing nothing. Well, I heard a piano playing. Well, we didn't hear nothing. We wasn't there. You know? So we decided there's enough evidence here with a child on each arm, sitting in this chair right here. And the truth of the matter is, we still get the lights on and off. But we made a deal with her that we tell her good morning, tell her good night. That's about as far as we go with it. Because if she wants to stay here, it's all right with us.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, this is everything in here belonged to her. All of the furniture, even her bed. Now, the bed looks like a trampoline, but it's not. It's called a sack bed. And this sack bed, you know, is one step above the rope beds. Now, all other rooms got rope beds, but her being a proprietor, she got the best bed in the house, you know. And this is where the saying, "Get the sack," came from. Now, you'll see everything in the corner. You notice she's got a chamber pot, but she's got a stool to go along with it. You know, if you lift that lid, you can see what I'm talking about there. That little lid woman had. Sherman stayed here for 3 days and used this hospital, this hotel for a hospital. And the war is over. We just lost the Civil War, and here's this gritty little white woman. She's writing a letter to Congress, demanding, not asking, demanding that they pay her older for her. And then Congress writes her a letter back saying, we'll take it up if we ever get around to it. It's been about 150 years. We don't think they're going to get around to it anytime soon. But this, you'll notice the floor. This floor is 200 years old, you know, and the hallway, it rises and falls in its own accord. So we're going next door. It's a typical room. That's what it would look like, a typical room next door. So let's all go down the hall here to the next room down.
Fascinating. Yeah, I wouldn't give her any lip at all.
Yeah, she's looked like one of my school teachers I used to have years ago. I wouldn't give her no lip. Nowadays, though, they don't think nothing about it.
Miss Joe was the only one that had anything close to civil. You know, she still used chamber pot, but she had that thing to put in it. But everybody else just had that. Now, one of the only things too, I mean, it might help you stay warm a little bit too. They had a house rule that don't no more than 6 to a room.
And all of these books, or anything you want to research on Macintosh, we've got it right here.
Wow.
And those pictures over here, the guy up there on the corner, now he'll be here. He's Macintosh's great-great-great-grandson, and he'll be here when we have the September Indian Festival. He'll be sitting in that chair right there, and he'll be telling stories. This floor will be full of kids listening to them stories. Well, he's a great storyteller. I listen to him sometime too. But now, this is his great-great-grandson, and his name was Dode McIntosh, and he was a college professor, and he used to travel around the country giving seminars on Indian lore. And I asked him why he wore that hat. I said, your tribe didn't wear that. They wore the turbans like McIntosh. He said, because this is what they expect the Indians to look like. But yeah, you know, we told you that this was a resort. There's all the trees up here and we've got the fort. Now, over here where the tree line starts, that was the Wigwam Hotel. That was the largest hotel in Indian Springs at the time. It had 137 rooms. It had a bowling alley in the bottom. It was a large hotel.
Wow.
And we would, if you look around that field, it's got as much history over there as the hotel does, because Sherman had 1,800 troops or so out there camped out. And over here in this thing, the Foy Hotel was, and they had the big, large swimming pool. They had the skating rink. They had the bowling alley. And in between it, they had the Ferris wheel and the merry-go-round and all the rides for the carnival they had. On the other hand, we got a Roma garden. Over here is the formal garden. And up under these trees is the blacksmith shop. And out here, this is where the Indians, they play their flutes and their drums and all when they have the Indian festival. They dance out in front of it. And where that fence is, we got bleachers on both sides of it for people to sit there and watch them. And we had to put the fence up because some dummies fell off. And now, CCC Corps came through here and they built this part, but they also had artists with them and they painted an Indian head on that rock out there. And it stayed there from 1933 until the 1980s. And then somebody in Atlanta decided it was racist. So he sent the guys from Atlanta with a sandblaster to blast it off. Well, Yahuwah, or Chief Oklahoma and all of his buddies found out about it, because we got a bunch of Indians with us here. And they threw rocks at him and let him off. The sheriff had to come and hold the Indians off while they blasted it off, because it belongs to the state. You can't do nothing.
And it seems strange to segregate the men from the ladies when just hanging out to us today. But in 1977, when they restored this place, they found out why. Because men are very nasty. Because over there, they had all kind of nasty stuff on the walls, and took 6 coats of white paint on the ceiling before you couldn't even see the cigar smoke in it. So it was, the floor was shot, so there's no telling what the floor would have looked like. But the ladies, I mean, it was a coat of paint and a little Windex, and they were good to go. So you can see why we're not invited over here. But now these 3 hotels, as I said, all of them eventually burned off. But these 3 hotels, the Wigwam, which was straight across the road over there in the woodline, it was the largest of the bunch. It had 137 rooms to rent. It had a bowling alley in the basement. It had the biggest ballroom south of Atlanta. You had to go all the way to Florida to see a better one. So it was something special. But right next door to us was the Calumet House, and it's got this train they called the dummy line, and it went right down 42 Highway, which 42 Highway wasn't there, and as far as it went was right here with this hotel.
Hey, quickly breaking in here. Modern times in the editing, so much material. I've got to edit some of it down a little bit, cut out a couple things, but there is so much to the history of that museum. The hotel was built by William McIntosh and served as a catalyst for, in a couple years after its building, to be where he would sign his own death warrant, in a manner of speaking. So, and unfortunately, I didn't get that part of it. I thought I had. I did see it, I just didn't record it, which is sometimes the case. So much to intake, and it was a fascinating and really good experience. So, that is maybe a hint, go and see. There's a lot. Maybe I'll cut out enough so that your interest is picked even more. But really good stuff. Anyway, getting on. If you like what you see so far, stay tuned, because the dinner that I fix up that particular night was remarkably awesome. Just really good, and I can't wait to share that recipe with you. Easy to do. It smells absolutely heavenly in a house. Smelled really good outside too, but when you have the odors confined into a kitchen, it's just awesome. Anyway, we'll get to that in just a short time. Wanted to let you know, like, subscribe, it is appreciated. And yeah, I'm going to get back and do some more editing, trim a couple things out, but check out the history of Indian Springs State Park and the surrounding town of Indian Springs and what happened there so many years ago. Really a cool deal. Getting old is getting old. It would have been a great part of a blooper reel. We both just sat down in these chairs at the Stagecoach Sweet Shop. I had to look over to the side to make sure I got the name right. Just across the street, up the hill, just maybe 200 feet, 200 yards, something like that. There's the hotel museum over there. Anyway, and we both sat down, and it feels so good. Got some ice cream, some strawberry cheesecake with Nana's banana pudding on the bottom, and Wendy got an Oreo.
Oreo.
Oreo. And so we're gonna enjoy this. Great place to stop. There she is, enjoying an adult beverage. Little Angry Orchard Rosé. Yeah, good stuff. and I'm gonna work on some editing. We are way late. We need to get some editing done. So I'm gonna see if maybe I can wrap up spend maybe an hour on it, maybe a little bit more. The ice cream was great. It's just been a good day, relaxing. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you do, consider liking and subscribing. It was fun. It has been a good day, and it's going to get better because we've got a great meal planned for this evening. We're going to let time go by. We've got 3:30 right now, so still got a couple more hours before we start it, but requires a little bit of prep time, and we'll cover a little bit of that. But yeah, we'll see. I am so excited to bring this dish to everybody. Back history on it. I was in the mood for fettuccine Alfredo, but I didn't just want noodles and a white sauce. Figured, what else could I add to it? Mushrooms would be good. Garlic. Gotta have garlic because, you know, Italian. I mean, it's such a great fruit, vegetable, whatever it's called, whatever it is. It just adds distinction. Tomato, spinach, and because we're in America, bacon. So yeah, I just kind of whipped this up. Now, if somebody else has an idea of what this is called officially, feel free to leave that in the comments. I call it fettuccine a la Sherm. It is something that I absolutely adore. The smell when you cook it in your home is phenomenal. Fresh baby bella mushrooms, minced fresh garlic. Just the two of those, I mean, forget about it. It's just awesome. There we go, Italian. Hey, yeah, just hang out for this one. This is going to be something good, and I'm hoping that you'll enjoy the recipe. Try it at home. It's awesome. And like I said, if somebody else has a different name for it, go for it. That's, you know, you can call it whatever you want to call it. And correct me if it has an official name that Gordon Ramsay or somebody else knows. It's with the bacon, I guess it would be kind of like a carbonara thing. I guess that makes dishes carbonara is bacon. I don't know. I just call it yum. I'm going to get a couple snippets of the prep work. It takes longer to prep than it does to cook. So I'm going to get the prep work done real quick. And then, yeah. So there we go. Hang out. Brought some fettuccine, linguini, spaghetti. I'd use a thick. You could do angel hair. You could do just about anything. It's just, you know, pasta is like
That's enough.
the same thing. Yeah, that should be enough for the two of us. Yep. Pasta is just like edible Play-Doh Fun Factory product. Really, any shape tastes the same, gets the job done. Time that you put it all into the skillet, serve it to start the pasta. Pretty small. cook with color as much as flavor. Got it in the screen? That? So, medium low, I'm going to kick up the heat here. Tablespoon and a half, maybe 2. I usually end up adding olive oil as the time goes on. So we're just gonna swirl that around at the temperature. All of the mushrooms. Mushrooms absorb a decent amount of olive oil, so I usually add a decent amount more. It's just an Aldi brand, Briano. Turn that temperature down because that's blazing right now. Just let that sit for a couple minutes. So the mushrooms absorb some of the oil in it, but they let out some water as well as they're browning. And you want those mushrooms browned up a little bit softer. Get the fragrance of the garlic intermingling. When I first did it, I put the bacon in last. Wendy just gave an idea, and I think it's spectacular because that's the kind of lady she is. Spectacular. She suggested adding a little bit of bacon at the beginning, like with the garlic and the mushroom. And so in it goes. And if you add the rest of it at the end, you get to see if that changes up the flavor profile. Yeah. You can use any kind you want. I'm actually going to turn that heat off because I'm getting sidetracked. I knew that one. Ooh, ninja move. Somebody ate her Wheaties this morning. That's what that is. May not look like it fits.
But it wilts.
It wilts. It's like potato chips. You wonder where it goes all the time. So when it gets to about that level, tomato in.
Doesn't even look like a whole bag of spinach.
Nope. Yep, that fragrance is amazing. Now, we didn't add Italian seasoning, salt or pepper, but that's okay because there's a decent amount of flavor here, and we can just add it afterwards onto our individual plates according to our desires. The bacon has enough salt in it so that I think you might be able to get away with not having it. I just turned off the heat. That's exactly what it looks like.
I'm trying to save some for that noodles.
So
And there we
yeah,
go. And you put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top, like that. Now look how pretty it looks.
absolutely gorgeous. And the taste is just through the roof. All right. Our tripod is officially kaput. So, we're not done with recording today. However, we're done recording for now. We're going to enjoy the food. We ask that you consider liking and subscribing. Hit that notification bell, like I said last night. And we'll record of a wood fire afterwards. This is a great dish. It's good camping. It's good for entertaining guests. You whip up a big batch of this, probably 2 bags worth. If you can do it in a 12-inch skillet, if you have a bigger skillet, just multiply out 4 or 5 tomatoes, 4 or 5 big packages of mushrooms, 10 cloves of garlic. Go wild. Make a lot of it for friends and family. It's a great, warm, enjoyable dish. So, with that, we're gonna let you go for a moment. We're gonna enjoy it, and yeah, like and subscribe. We'll look forward to increasing our numbers as the time goes on.
And it's yummy.
And it's yummy, she says. All right.